All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in today to MJR and Friends episode number 2.
Woo!
Yeah, my name is Michael Rossi. I am the host of MJR and Friends, part of the MJR podcast family. Today, we are here with a very special guest, Jocelyn Dame, owner of Dame Dogs Labradors.
Yeah.
Jocelyn, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just peachy. Thank you for asking. I'm super excited to have you on today. Obviously,
Thank you for having me.
Dogs. I mean, big passion of mine. I love dogs and getting to talk to you.
You're a lab lover yourself.
I'm a lab lover. Yep, yes. Lab lover. Yep, the chocolate lab, black lab. You can see them on their vlog.
I love your dogs. Now we just gotta add a yellow.
I know.
One in every color.
One in every color, right? I'm telling you right now, if I get a yellow lab, it's going to be named Air Bud.
Oh, I love that movie. Great movie.
I just hate the credits, though, all the time. It'd be like a happy ending. Air Bud gets returned back, and then they play like the slow piano song, and it's like, come on.
It's like it's going to be a happy moment.
Yeah. And instead, they play a sad song. But anyway, let's get into it. And by the way, if you could see the ticker below, that is my info on there. But right now, we're going to put Jocelyn's info on there. So if you want to take a look at their page or her page, you can check those out. Instagram, Google, Facebook. It's pretty much the same name on every single page. So,
yes.
But anyway, very excited for this. And let's get the show on the road. So, Jocelyn, one of my favorite questions to ask is, what's your story? What is your story?
My story is, I've had labs pretty much my entire life. Growing up as a kid, grew up with all yellows, so I never really had any other color except for the yellows. And then my dog, my last yellow lab when I was a baby, well, not a baby, I was like 14. She passed away, Jenny. And then I hadn't had a Labrador. I had a Puggle in between that, and she's great. She's actually still alive. She's like 15. Yeah. And then when I, got married and I, had my own house, I said, I want to get another lab. So I got Leia, who's a black lab. She was my first she's the original Dame dog, but she's fixed. So she's not one of my mama dogs. So I worked for Mercedes-Benz for a long time, and I just decided one day, I was like, you know what? Don't really want to work for you guys anymore. Not that I didn't love the company or the brand, but I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to be home more with my son, I have now had 2 Labradors. I had Leia and Xena, my chocolate lab, who's one of my mama dogs. And I wanted to be home more with them. And I wanted to essentially, like I said, work for myself. And I have done so much research into, breeding and dogs. And like I said, because I'm such a lab lover, I just was like, you know what? I'm going to breed my dogs. And that's just kind of how it started.
And it seems it's obviously something that you love. So
yes.
I think leaving that and doing something that you love allows you to put a lot more time into it and a lot more passion because you love it. Let me ask you this. What makes you different than other breeders? Like, what do you do differently? The work you put into it. What makes you so different compared to other breeders?
So, what people, when they're looking for a dog, I know especially when they're looking, at breeders, they might not necessarily. They say, they do the research and everything, but if you're really looking into the difference between me as a breeder and other breeders, whether it's Labradors or really any kind of dog, I do, pre-breeding screenings for all of my females and my male stud Vader. They get, checked out by the vet. They make sure that, their weight is good to be bred, that, their cervix and their uterus and all of that, comes into play, that Vader's sperm count is good. They have to make sure that they're at least on their second heat cycle before they're bred because, it's not recommended at all to breed a dog before her second heat cycle or before the age of 2. And a lot of breeders that just don't care, they'll breed a dog as soon as she goes into heat and she's an immature mother, and that just leads to a lot of problems. And then the other thing I do is, my dogs are obviously all vaccinated with every vaccine that you could possibly get for a dog. And What I also do is when my mama dogs are going through their heat cycle, I take them in for progesterone testing. So every time I go, they go in probably every 2 days. They check to see what their ultimate timing is for ovulation and when they hit their fertile peak. So that's the best time to breed them, which leads to obviously the highest chance of getting them pregnant. And then I do 4 weeks later, I confirm pregnancy with an ultrasound. And then that gives you about a 30% show of how many puppies they're having, but they're still tiny little embryos, so you can't really tell off of the ultrasound. But you can confirm that the mother is pregnant. And then a week before the puppies are born, mama dog goes in, she gets her x-ray, which a lot of people think, oh gosh, that's bad for, a pregnant, mother to have, radiation. But for dogs, it's different. It's a very, very small amount, and it's perfectly healthy. Obviously, it's done by a certified veterinarian. And that gives me about an 85% accuracy. Shimmer, that's Shimmer. Of one of how many puppies they're going to have. Because, when they call it whelping, when they give birth, as a breeder, you want to know how many puppies, to expect to be born. And kind of, Shimmer.
Can we see Shimmer?
Yes, come here,
Come on, let's just do it.
I'm gonna just move this for a second. So
That's
Shimmer
fine.
is actually Shimmer. She's my mama dog right now, who's actually pregnant. She made it twice with Vader last week. Come here, we're gonna come over here. I have her on the. Come here, Shimmer. Come here, Shimmer. Shimmer, sit. Can you sit? This is Shimmer. Say hi.
Hi, Shimmer.
Say hi.
Beautiful. Oh my god.
So she's my mama dog. She's a yellow lab, but she's very, very white. Can you put your face in the camera?
What makes her no? How is she? Why is she so white? Is there a reason behind it?
So there's a reason behind. I'm actually just gonna talk to you and bring her upstairs quickly, just so she doesn't keep barking.
Yeah.
So the reason behind the color is there are 3 different colors of yellow labs. Come on. I'll just wait for her. There's a fox red, which I have, which is Sansa. So she's the redhead. And then there's the typical, yellow lab, which is actually my puppy Nova that will be coming home in February. And then there's Shimmer, who's considered white or champagne colored, they would call her. And it's just a variation in the colors of their, DNA and how it's structured. So I literally have Leia, who's black, Vader, my father, the stud, who's black. I have Xena, my chocolate mother, and then I have 3 forms of yellow. So I have Shimmer, who's white, Sansa, who's a fox red, and Nova, who will be joining the family as a puppy, who will be the regular blonde yellow lab. So it's really just based upon genetics, and that's a lot of things too that I like to research and, understand, because a lot of people are like, oh, what's a fox red? We've never heard of a fox red lab. She's so different. And they are more rare. But Sansa and Xena and Nova all carry that fox red gene.
Wow.
Just because I have their genealogy. So they can produce fox reds in my litter, which is great.
We're back here, and sorry for the audio issues. It actually wasn't my fault. I'm going to put you on blast. They had the volume down. She didn't want to hear me. I want to go back to the vaccination, because we're obviously going to talk about COVID and how it affected you and what you do. I remember hearing from someone that there has been a COVID vaccine for dogs for years. Is that true? Is there any truth to that? Do you know about it?
I've never heard of that. I know cats actually can carry COVID or actually get COVID.
Wow.
I know, so with the puppies, when they're born and they're young, even if somebody has a cold, I try to keep people away from them just because they literally have zero immune system at that point. But I've never heard of COVID in dogs. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it was. They had said that because coronavirus has been around for a very long time, and
Yeah.
I guess dogs there was like a shot, like they get their rabies and stuff. They had a COVID shot.
My dogs don't have
Maybe
that, so
no, I don't know. Weird. It wasn't for 19, but it was a different. I think it was like a different strain.
interesting. I know
Yeah.
they have a shot, like you've heard of the distemper shot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. So what's included in a distemper shot is para-influenza, which is a form of like a dog flu, but I don't know
That's
about
weird.
COVID.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Thought
Yeah.
I'd ask, but let's
That's
get in.
interesting.
It is. It is. It's definitely interesting. I was kind of shocked when I heard that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I never heard of this until March, but dogs have been getting this. Dogs have been getting this
wait,
shot.
what?
I don't remember Ella ever getting this shot. So
Yeah.
well, maybe there is some truth to it, maybe not. But the next thing is obviously last year was a rough year, and it's still going on, and COVID has affected a lot of businesses. And how has it affected you and what you're able to do? Has there been a big effect? Has there not been a big effect?
So honestly, if anything, COVID has made people go puppy crazy. Like I can't keep up. I get 5-6 phone calls, emails a day about, people inquiring about puppies. I've got, waiting lists until next year. And that's one of the reasons why I actually went to Minnesota to get Shimmer, because Sansa, my other mama dog, she's not quite ready yet to be bred. And I only had Xena. So I had so many people inquiring about a dog, about puppies, that I went out, did my research, found an amazing, that's the thing, finding dogs in New England with, all the proper, care, because, all my dogs are AKC certified, they have to be, brucellosis tested, which is actually a type of dog, like STD essentially, that if they have that, they cannot be bred. It's highly contagious. There's no cure, and essentially you would have to put the dog down. It's really sad. So, that's only, though, I don't want people to freak out by that. They only recommend brucellosis testing for dogs that are in a breeding program. So if you have a regular pet, you don't have to freak out about brucellosis. So yeah. So
I didn't know they could get those. You just shocked me.
They have dog herpes as well. That's real. Yes, that is a thing.
What?
Because some dogs are sluts, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so. I don't. I guess so.
My male would hump anything.
So would my 16-year-old husky before he passed a couple of years ago. That he was going strong.
There you go.
He was going strong. Let's stay in this conversation back. So how else has it? Obviously, it's been well.
Yes. So if anything, COVID, thank God, had no impact. If anything, it kind of helped my business, because, I only started this a year ago, and where I am now and where I was a year ago, if somebody had said, hey, listen, this is where you're going to be a year from now, I would have said no, no way. Like a business usually doesn't take off this quickly. And, like I said, people, and I understand people are home from work, because of COVID, they're working from home, or they're just, so they want puppies, and it's the best time to train them because they're home. But, I do a lot of screening. I do meet and greets. So people come outside in my backyard. We wear masks, social distance. They can go see the dogs and pet the dogs. And
Wow.
I like to meet all of my clients ahead of time, just because I won't sell a puppy to anybody that, either gives me a weird vibe, or, just doesn't seem like they can provide the right home or the proper vet care for the puppy. So.
And what's your process for that?
So what I do is I have them, come to my house, or if they want, they can choose to do a Zoom meeting. And basically I screen them, ask them certain questions, have you ever owned a dog, and even if they haven't, that doesn't mean anything. Some people are just new dog owners, but I have had to, turn people away just because I didn't feel like the puppy would be the right fit. And that's another thing that, is a lot of breeders, they're just okay, give me my, $2,000 and have a nice day. Like, I don't care where the puppy goes. I just want my money. Like, I've actually turned people down where I just was, it just didn't work. It wasn't. I've actually given people their money back and told them, like, I'm sorry, but this isn't going to work out. So I'm very, very picky about where my puppies go because I want to make sure they're going to the best home possible, and I want to make sure that they're getting the proper vet care, because if you tell me you can't, afford the puppy, or if, getting the puppy for you is like a stretch, then how are you going to afford to vaccinate the puppy and feed the puppy and, take care of the puppy? So, it's important to me that, they're my babies. So I always make sure that I provide, as much of a good home as I possibly can for them.
Yeah, you're not just here to give a dog away, make money. You're here to make sure this dog is actually going to a proper family, a proper household. But money's a big part of it, because if they are struggling to pay just to own the dog, like you said, they can't. How are they going to continue to take care of this dog?
Exactly.
So definitely, that's cool with the self-evaluation part. Do you feel a lot of breeders go through that? Do you feel like maybe it's not as strict or, persistent as you are?
I would say there are some breeders out there that do that, absolutely 100%, they care. They want to make sure their puppies end up, in the right homes. And then there are breeders out there that literally just want to sell the litter, make their money, and move on to the next litter. And it's like, wherever the puppy ends up, as long as you give me my $2,000 or whatever they charge for their dogs, $1,500, $3,000, everybody's different depending on the breed. Then that's it. And I just could never sleep at night knowing that, a puppy could potentially be in a bad situation or a bad home. So if I don't, these are my dogs, I'm the owner. If I don't want to, sell you my puppy, that's my right to choose that. So it's sad that there's a lot of breeders that don't care. I would say there's more out there that just kind of want to get rid of them and move on to the next litter than there are that want to give them good, proper homes. So, like with my little runt, do you remember Rocky?
I've seen Rocky, yeah.
See Rocky? Yeah. So he was, the runt, and he was actually bottle fed because he didn't latch to mama. That's very common with a runt. That can happen. So,
really?
Yeah. So I bottle fed him, and he actually got, it's called Aspiration Pneumonia. And it's very common in bottle fed puppies just because, they're so tiny, and, if anything goes down into the lungs, they can aspirate, and that'll cause pneumonia. So I had to rush him to Ocean State. They had to, put him on oxygen, put him on medication. Thank God he's fine. He's doing amazing. But I found I had a family that wasn't even on the list for the October litter. They're actually on my spring litter list. And I knew right away, I said, this is the family. I'm going to ask them if they're interested, but this is the family that will be perfect for him. And they ended up saying yes. And when I tell you, that dog could not be more loved or more spoiled or more well taken care of. He's thriving. And I visited him actually last week, so he's doing phenomenal.
What's his memory like? Was he good with you? Did he remember you? Did he run to you? Was it?
Yep, he did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that melted my heart.
That's awesome. Let me ask you this: when it comes to story of Ella, my black lab from 8 years ago, she was very. I hate to use the word. It wasn't high. She wasn't high priced from a breeder, and the reason why is she wasn't photogenic.
Did you say she wasn't from a breeder?
She was from a breeder.
Oh, okay.
But the reason why she was so low priced was because she wasn't photogenic. Does that make any sense to you? Is that what breeders actually do? Is if a dog's not photogenic, they just want to try to low price buy. Because I'll tell you right now, Ella takes the best pictures in the world, and
I was gonna say your dogs are beautiful, so
I don't know what the issue there was.
that's really strange. I won't make you mention any names, but like photogenic. I mean, what like puppies are all to me. I'm like puppies are all adorable. And
Yeah.
cute. How could you not be photogenic? Like,
Yeah.
no, honestly, I think that. Well, you got lucky, but they just couldn't take care of her. Didn't want to have her around anymore.
That's ridiculous.
They just were like, and plus I don't know what their process is. Like, I don't know, like, if they, like, I deworm all my puppies 4 times before they go home. They get their first set of shots at 6 weeks old. So that protects against the first setup. So it's a distemper shot. So it's their first one. It protects against parvo, which is super contagious and can kill a puppy or even a grown dog. And the para-influenza virus, which I was telling you about. So they get that as well. And then, AKC paperwork and just how they're fed, the quality of food that my puppies are on. So I don't know. I don't know why that puppy was so discount. Like I said, good for you.
Just weird.
Yeah.
Just weird. And I thought I'd ask you because is that what breeders do? Is that like they can tell these things and that's what they tell people? Oh, this dog doesn't take pictures very well. Like
never heard of a dog. No, I mean, from the breeders that I've talked to, I've never heard of that. And
so weird.
know breeders within my own breed, within German Shepherds, Beagles, like all different types of breeds.
So weird. So weird. But I'd like to go into now your breeding process, and especially we can get to this too. One of my questions to you was, especially with a female dog while they're pregnant,
mm-hmm.
What's the diet? What changes their routine? Are they able to walk a lot, go out and do activity? What's the process? What's the changes?
So when a female is pregnant, so I would say up until the first 4 weeks of their pregnancy, you're not really going to notice much of a difference in terms of, like their bellies. Like they might change a little, but they don't really get bigger until the end of their pregnancy. And they start to, I would say 4 weeks to 5 weeks on, because they're only pregnant for 9 weeks. They get more tired. But in terms of diet, so what I do is I keep my moms on their regular adult dog food. You feed them a little bit more. So like I increase their food a little more because obviously, they have to feed the babies as well. So I'll increase their food, but you don't want to overfeed a mother either, because if she gets too big, she could have problems delivering the puppies, giving birth. So you don't want to overfeed her because you don't want her to not be able to whelp naturally, because C-sections, you never want to have to go down that road. It's just not good. And then by, I would say, the last week of their pregnancy, you start to wean them onto puppy food, because when they go onto puppy food, now you're getting the puppies the nutrients from puppy food, because that's a higher calorie diet, and you want them, while she's nursing them, to be getting all of the nutrients from that puppy food, because eventually when the puppies are done nursing off of mom, they're going to go on that food. So you want them to be used to the food that the nutrients they're getting from the milk from their mother, which is that food. And also, you want them to be on a high calorie diet. You want mom to be on that high calorie diet, because when mothers are nursing, they literally, you double. So Xena, when she would eat 4 cups a day total when she was pregnant. When she was nursing, she was on 8 cups a day. So she double, yes, because they literally, when you say they baby suck the life out of you, they suck the life out of you. So you have to double their food. So yeah, she was eating 4 cups in the morning and 4 cups at night, just to feed those babies, and they were very, very healthy, good sized Labradors. And then in terms of exercise, I would just say they just go on light walks, no like hardcore, like, because like my dogs will all go outside and they'll play and wrestle and, play with the ball and play with bones and do tug of war and all that stuff. But when mom is pregnant, she's just with me. She's, just kind of hanging out, and I exercise her by just taking her for like walks around the neighborhood. And you just got to be careful to, not while she's pregnant, but after giving birth, to not take her on walks around the neighborhood just for other dogs, because other dogs, you don't know if they've been vaccinated or what their situation is. You don't want mama dog bringing in anything off the street that she could possibly, God forbid, especially parvo, because parvo is contagious and you can bring that in off your feet or your shoes. So you want to keep mom inside or in your yard, just to go to the bathroom as much as possible and not take her outside of really your space.
How many babies have you had from one, or puppies have you had from one dog? Like, what's the most? Is there?
So every litter is different in terms of color, size, and gender. So when people ask me, when they're like, well, I'm pick number 5 on your list and I really only want like a black female, I'm like, okay, well, I can't control nature. Like, she had 7 in her last litter. So she had 5 black. Yeah, she had 5 black. So Vader's gene dominated on that one. So she had 5 black. Yeah, the stud.
The stud.
My man. She had 5 black, a chocolate, and a yellow. And the litter was pretty split down the middle. She had 3 females and 4 males. So, because it was an odd number. But, yeah. So 7 to 8, no, Ralphie, go sit.
Hi, Ralphie. Come on, we get special guests in there. There he is.
I'm actually going to karate right now.
Are you?
Yeah. My next belt's decided.
Oh, my goodness. Good for you, bud. I like your hair.
Thank you.
You're a stud. Bye, Ralphie.
Ralphie's a very big help with the puppies.
Is he?
Yeah. So what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So I would say anywhere from 6 to 8 is a normal size litter for a Labrador, but I have seen less, which was only 5, and more, which was 13. Obviously, 13's a very high number.
Yeah.
But Xena, because she's on the bigger end and Shimmer's smaller than her, and Xena's, according to her mother and what her mother has carried, her mother had 10, 11, 9. So I'm thinking as Xena progresses in her breeding that she should be able to produce, a bigger litter than what her first one was.
What do you see so a dog is pregnant, and I just learned, I never knew that a dog can have multiple litters. A dog can get pregnant again. What's the time frame in between? Like, obviously there's got to be some break in for the body, right?
Oh, yes. So normally for, Labradors and for most dogs in general, they can have 2 litters a year. So the only time they can get pregnant is when they go into heat, which happens usually twice a year. Shimmer, she's funny. I don't really know her heat cycle except for the one she just had. I don't know how quickly she turns around, but according to what her previous owner told me is she seems to be like a 4 to 5 month cycler. So yeah, so if she cycles every 4 months, that could be a 3 a year litter. But I obviously, like I said, I don't ever want to overwork my dogs. I don't want them out of shape. I don't want them, being pregnant, 24/7. So if she was a 4-monther, there's a good chance that unless a vet is saying, like I said, because they all get pre-breeding checked, like she's good to go, I would probably give her a break and do the twice a year, because they usually get like a 6 to 7 month break. Xena's like a 6 or 7 monther, so.
What's that final thing that you see and you're like, Xena's done. We're not having litters from her anymore. Like, what's that final thing that you look at and say, she can't handle this anymore?
So there's a couple of factors that come into play. Either a vet will say, she's not, she can't breed anymore for whatever reason, It could be anything really, like, her cervix or uterus, she's just, she's just too out of shape, she's not going to bounce back anymore. Or really the biggest factor is age. So they say, according to AKC, anywhere between 6 to 7 years old, they recommend to stop breeding your mother and to spay her. So I would say, depending on what a vet says and how the female is doing in terms of health and recovering from each litter, I wouldn't breed my female past 7 years old. Males can go forever. It's like regular life.
Okay. This brings me into my my next point. Lifespan. So you have a dog, has 3 litters over time. I'm assuming there's a correlation between pregnancy, lifespan. If they're not pregnant, they live longer. If they get pregnant often, they don't live as long. Is there a correlation, or is that not?
It honestly, if you take care, and I have 2 vets. Well, I have like my regular vet that I have here in Rhode Island. And then I have 2 vets that are actually, one's in Massachusetts, one's in Connecticut. Both specialize in dog reproduction. It's all in how you take care of them. So if you're taking care of your mothers and you're bringing them for their regular, checkups, pre-breeding screenings, getting them vaccinated, keeping them in shape, having them on all of the correct food, then lifespan shouldn't be an issue, whether they're being bred or not being bred. Obviously, Labradors, their life expectancy is anywhere, from, 8 to 10 years. But I've had people that have had labs that live to 15. I think the longest living lab in the world, was like 19. Yeah. So, but I 10 is like a very average number for labs to live, which kind of sucks because I was like, 10 years, like, that's not like a long time, but that's just their life expectancy as a breed in general. But I mean, I have friends that have labs that have, like I said, have been 13 or 12 or, 15. I think the longest one I've ever met was, 14. Yeah, which is great.
That is great. Yeah. That is great. When it comes to diet for animals, you say you give them dog food. What are some brands that you recommend? And to also follow up to that, is there anything human food that you recommend for them, like beef, like chicken, carrots, anything like that? How do you feed your dogs?
So I feed my dogs. I don't make them any, home cooked, like, food like chicken or beef or steak. You can absolutely do that. I just have so many of them.
It'd be a lot of money.
It'd be a lot of money. It'd be a lot of money for sure to do that for all of them. But yes, you can absolutely feed them. And if you're going to do that, I highly recommend just talking to your vet in terms of, how much, the quality. Obviously, you don't want to give them like a fatty beef. You want to make sure it's like as lean as possible. But yeah, beef, chicken, carrots, sweet potatoes, pumpkin, apples, all of those are really, really good food for dogs. And they obviously, peanut butter, that's a treat though. But any like toxic things for dogs, which I'm sure obviously chocolate, grapes, onions, those are like really like very toxic foods for dogs, and they recommend not giving to them. They also love blueberries. I actually give blueberry yogurt to my moms in between their while they're giving birth for calcium. So they get blueberry yogurt, which is really good. It's high in antioxidants. Plus it helps the mom's milk come in a little quicker with the calcium. And plus she's losing some blood. So you want to make sure you keep up with that. But yeah, they love blueberries even when they're not birthing. But for regular dog foods, I feed my dogs, Purina Pro Plan. I give them the salmon and rice because there's a lot of controversy with processed chicken food. So there's been a lot of research done. Actually, 2 of my labs are allergic to chicken. They get diarrhea from it. Xena and Sansa. So, and they're 2 of my mama dogs. Well, Sansa not yet, but she will be.
Yeah.
And they've also done some research because I, keep in touch with other breeders that breed Labradors, where they're seeing that chicken, not regular chicken, but chicken dog food, they're having litters where female puppies are being born with like an inverted vulva, which essentially means it's not that she like can't go to the bathroom or has issues going to the bathroom or anything, but it's where like the skin kind of like there's like a flap that grows around it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it can self-correct when the female goes into like heat a few times. But they're prone to UTIs unless it fixes itself, or you can get it surgically like fixed that way too. But they're thinking there's a relation to chicken causing that. So my dogs eat salmon and rice, and then the puppies eat a lamb and rice diet. And this is all through Purina, all highly recommended by both of the vets that I deal with that do the reproduction. So I tell all of my, puppies' families too, keep them on the lamb and rice and then transfer them on to the salmon and rice. If you want to put them on chicken, I mean, that's your prerogative, but I try to educate them on not to. And like I said, Purina's a great brand, as well as Royal Canin.
Okay.
Those are the 2 I definitely would recommend to people.
The one thing I don't understand is why do they still sell wet dog food?
So wet dog food is actually not as bad as people actually think it is, depending on what you buy.
Yeah.
So my Vader, because you would think for a lab he'd eat anything. No, he's super picky.
It's a stud.
Yeah. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, the girls will inhale their food, like, no problem. And they would keep going if I kept feeding them. He'll sit there and just be like, and I'm like, Vader, eat your food. I got to feed him out of my hand. I got to throw food across the floor to make him go fetch it. Yeah. So I was like, okay. I'm like, we're not doing this. So what I'll do is I buy the Purina. They make a wet canned food of beef and rice. So beef is also very good too. It's hard to find a beef diet though in dry food. So for the wet food, I give him beef and rice. I mix it in with the dry because you want to make sure, because he won't get enough calories if you just do like just canned. And if you do all canned food, it's too fattening. So you got to mix it in with the dry. And then he eats it. So he's good. So as long as you're giving your dog a good wet food and not like, I don't know, like I said, just like a cheapy, like bad one. Totally fine. Also, grain-free, no good.
Really?
That's a myth. People think, oh, grain-free. Remember that was like a whole fad, like, oh, grain-free, it's all great, it's all that. No, it's actually not. Dogs need grain. They need grain. They're used to that. That's how wolves eat it in the wild. And dogs are obviously descendants of wolves. Grain-free is actually, they've done a lot of studies on it, and a lot of vets are trying to get it off the market, where it is causing congestive heart failure. So if your dog's on a grain-free food, take them off.
You said your dogs love peanut butter?
Yes.
When I tell you, I take off the can. Literally, I take off.
They hear the cover?
The cover, like, does a little, like, boom, boom, running through. Right, like they could be sleeping. They could be like this on the bed with their legs up, Ella and Jesse, and they're jetting and running over to get peanut butter. You know what I did get them onto, though, because I converted almond butter. And I hope it's not bad for them. If it is, I apologize. But they love almond butter.
I haven't heard anything about that, so
Good.
I would say awesome. Yeah. Honestly, so for dogs, too, with peanut butter, be careful. Have you ever heard, and I might pronounce this wrong, but Xylitol, it's like Xyitol.
Xylitol.
Xylitol, thank you.
It's a type of sugar alcohol.
It wrong. So that's an ingredient in peanut butter that is actually very bad for dogs. So the peanut butter I give my dogs is all natural. It's called Teddy's. You can get it at any supermarket. They can have Skippy because I haven't found it in Skippy. But yeah, that's the thing you got to look out for is that ingredient for peanut butter.
That's why I kind of switched to almond butter too, because I as a person, as a human, switched to almond butter. I love almond butter more. I still like. I mean, peanut butter is still classic. I mean, there's nothing wrong with peanut butter. I love peanut butter, but the almond butter, most almond butter brands, especially like the Stop and Shop, it's just almond. I add a couple other things, but I never see the xylitol. Like it's Skippy and Jif, I believe there's probably stuff in there to make it a little more sweeter.
Yes, there's more stuff. There's more preservatives. It's less natural. Like I said, I did check with Skippy, and I don't, because I've never used Jif, so I don't know about Jif, but I didn't find the xylitol in the Skippy. So, but like I said, just because I'm like a neurotic, I feed them the natural like Teddy's. It's literally just like peanut butter or peanuts and like one other natural ingredient. That's all it is.
They lick it off the spoon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They'll lick.
And they keep licking. Yeah. It's the best. It's the best.
I love peanut butter.
It's the best. Tell us about your animal rescue and the importance of rescuing animals and just how you help with that. And
So I feel like breeders get a bad rep sometimes because people are like, like you're going to go spend, X amount of dollars on a dog and you're going through a breeder and, there's so many dogs out there that, are abandoned and abused and need homes and, and like I feel like people like get mad.
Save, don't buy.
Yeah, exactly. They say adopt, don't shop. Like
adopt, don't shop. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, listen. Some people, because I've talked to people about it, they're like, we were looking at rescuing and, we're huge supporters of it, or we have a dog at home already that's a rescue, but we really just wanted a Labrador. You're not going to walk into an animal shelter or a rescue shelter and be like, I'd like a chocolate Labrador, please. Like, it's just not going to happen.
No.
I mean, you might get lucky, but the chances are it's a mixed breed. And it's not going to have paperwork. And some people, they want that. And a lot of people are like, we want to get a dog that hasn't been abused. Because how do we know that this dog isn't going to bite our child? Or, a lot of people freak out, about pit bulls. Because a lot of them are mixed with pit bull. And they're like, how do we know there's not pit bull in this dog? And, pit bulls, I love all animals. Pit bulls, I don't have enough research on pit bulls. I feel like, I feel really bad for them because I've talked to people that are like mixed on pit bulls and they're like, well, it's how you raise them or no, it's in their DNA. So it's like, so people freak out about, dogs being, a lot of these rescues are mixed with pit bulls. So people get nervous about that. But in terms of rescuing, like I'm all about it. If I could save every dog in the world, I would in a heartbeat. Like, because I feel like every animal should be loved. Every animal should have a good home. So what I try to do is like this past winter, have you ever heard of like Potter League?
No.
So they're an animal rescue in Rhode Island. I think they're out of Providence. I know they have a place in Middletown right near Newport, Rhode Island.
Yep.
So what I did this winter during Christmas time, they were looking for people, because they're all nonprofit, to donate to them. They needed more treats for dogs and cats. So what I did was they have like a list, and I went on Amazon, and you can just like go on Amazon, you can like ship it right to them.
Yeah.
So what I did was I went on Amazon and I almost bought every single treat like on their list. And God. For the kitties and the puppies, because I have 4 cats too. So I love animals.
Wait. How did it get along? Is this a dogs versus cats movie? Cats versus dogs when they're together?
My cats do not like my dogs. They're not fans. Really? They're afraid. And I try to just keep them separated because I don't want the cats to scratch them. But
you're gonna hate me. I'm not a cat guy.
It's okay.
I
won't hate you for it.
I'll say hi to a cat. I'll give it a little touch. Yeah, I'll show respect, but nothing like a dog.
Oh no. Well,
Nothing
dogs,
like
yeah, it's so different. Cats are just, they're so like independent, and they're kind of like, just like, I do my own thing. I have one cat that's like super like a people person, but all my other cats are like, nah. But yeah, dogs, I'm obviously very more partial to dogs, but
I couldn't tell. Oh.
Yeah, no, not at all. But yeah, so I donated, I don't even know, so many treats to, for Christmas for those puppies and those kitties. And so I like doing that. And then my goal is to, once I actually start, really getting this business, up and running, and, I have some extra money, I want to be able to actually write a check to one of those, rescue shelters from Dame Dogs Labradors to donate to them, to get them food or blankets or, vaccines, because, they have to take care of these animals. So I want people to know that, I very much care about rescue, and I want to contribute more as much as I can, like I said, as I, get up and running. But yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with breeders, especially ones that do it the right way. And like I said, some people just, they want a German Shepherd, they want a Poodle, they want a Labrador. So, you can't hate us for that.
No, I don't think any animal rescue shouldn't be hated. I don't think breeders should be hated. It's so you're bringing new life into the world. You're helping bring new life, new dogs into the world, and you're taking care of them as well. And who's to say you can't rescue a dog and help breed them and help bring more dogs into the world?
Yeah,
absolutely. So I think it should be more of a depending on what you're looking for, a partner thing. I don't think it should be a battle between adopt, don't shop. Shop, don't adopt. I don't think it should be a battle.
Everybody should just care about each other, and everybody should, be in it together, because honestly, at the end of the day, it's about taking care of these animals and giving them loving homes, whether it's from a breeder or from a rescue. I get it when they're all mad about, people who are running puppy mills. I am so against that. Like, no, like, you should not have 8,000 dogs in your backyard living in like tiny little cages that are barely getting fed. That's obnoxious and obscene.
It's terrible.
But a breeder who's doing everything right and loves their dogs and their puppies and, is doing everything right by them, then nobody should be upset about that.
And you bring up puppies. You ready to show us some of your dogs?
Yes.
Well, let's do it. You're going to tell us some about your dog. So I got all the pictures right here. And before we get into this, obviously you can follow Dame Dogs Labradors on Facebook, Instagram, and Google. No Pinterest, huh? No LinkedIn? No WhatsApp?
Honestly, I didn't make a Pinterest just because I have so many people that contact. I can't keep up with it.
I don't even know how to use Pinterest, so I'm just kidding. But let's do it. So we got some pictures right here. Bam!
Oh, I can tell you exactly who that is. So that's the chocolate one is Atlas. The middle yellow one, that's Coda Bean. And the black female next to her, that's Luna.
Wow. How old are they?
So they were probably, 2 weeks old there. Yeah. They hadn't even opened their eyes yet. Yeah, so they were probably, if they were 2 weeks, they were less than that. They were probably I would say maybe 8 or 9 days old.
Wow.
They were babies, yeah, because their eyes are still closed.
Beautiful. How long until they open their eyes?
Around 2 weeks.
2 weeks, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow. And I'm assuming they're not walking at all, or?
No, because they're deaf and blind. They're born deaf and blind.
Really?
Yes. So they just kind of crawl. They literally just go by their scent to find their mother, their mother's milk. They just smell it.
What do you do as a breeder to get that going? Like, what's the nutrition? Is there different things you have to do in order to develop the sight, the hearing? It just comes natural. There's nothing you do differently.
Yeah, they do it on their own. That's just nature. That just happens by itself.
Gotcha. All right. Let's use this one.
Oh, okay. So that my top left, Chocolate. That's Xena. She's my mama dog. She was the first Dame dog to produce our first litter, which was this past October. She's wonderful. She's amazing. Like when I tell you an amazing mother, great, disposition. She's my alpha dog, which means she is the ruler of the pack.
Yeah.
And they know it. And then the top right, that's Shimmer, my white lab or yellow lab, however you want to call her. We just brought her home recently from Minnesota, and she had one litter with them, and she is currently pregnant with my beautiful, handsome man Vader down there at the bottom.
There he is.
My black lab. So and I only have one stud, and then that's my sign in front of my house.
Really?
Yes.
I thought it was a dog.
Yeah, so that's...
I couldn't tell. That's very nice, though. Very nice, very nice.
So those are my 3 producing dogs at the moment. That's why I did them together, because those are top 2 are mama dogs, and bottom right is my daddy dog.
The daddy dog.
The daddy dog.
Who's this?
That's Atlas.
Atlas.
Oh, he is such a ham. I love him. He was the only Chocolate in her litter. And he was a male. He was the only one. And he is living in Boston, and his mom is phenomenal.
He's obviously going to become a producer, right?
You mean like a stud dog?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what she's doing with him.
No.
No, she wants to enter him into AKC championships. She wants to make him a show dog, which he is very capable of doing. Absolutely.
Wow. All right. I can see by the picture on the Jeep.
Oh, he's photogenic. Talk about a photogenic. I was just going to say, talk about photogenic.
He's photogenic.
That's Jolene. They named her after the Dolly Parton song, Jolene. When I tell you, okay, so this dog is so smart.
We don't have to play that at your wedding, right?
No.
Okay. Right.
No.
No Dolly Parton.
No. I love her, but like I just not her, music is as much.
Now I am gonna play it.
You're gonna play it anyway. So she is. She was my biggest female in that litter, and she went to a home in Salem, Massachusetts. So, which I visit all the time, which I love. Her and Atlas, actually, their 2 moms are best friends. Wow. So they actually hang out a lot, and she looks like her auntie Leia. She looks just like Leia, more so than Xena or Vader. And I'm like, okay, well, like Leia should have birthed you. Like, I don't know where you came from, but great dog, super smart. She's already doing like high fives. They do like this thing where they put their hands in, and like for like game day, like when for football, they all go, all right, like 1, 2, 3, like hands in, and she puts her paws in, and they all go, yay!
That's awesome.
Her moms are awesome. Great family. Like Allison and Caitlin are amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, who's this?
So that's Xena with all of her babies. That was probably the day after she gave birth. Yeah, they were like a day old in that picture. And that was her first litter.
What's her sleep like after that? Like the next day? Like does she knock out all day?
Oh, she's very tired. She literally will only, I would say while she's nursing, the first 2 weeks, she is just, the only time she really gets up is to eat, drink, or go outside. Other than that, she just feeds them. She lays there, and she is the type of mom that did not want to leave her babies. Even when I took her outside, she could not go to the bathroom fast enough to get back to them. She's beautiful. A great mom.
Oh, yeah. She's beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, that's Bowen and Oakley. So the one with the green and blue bandana, that's Bowen. He was the firstborn in the litter. Him and Oakley, so Oakley's got the red bandana. They went to the same home. So
Oh, wow.
they're
Okay.
together. Yeah. So there's 2 brothers and their wives that bought them, and they live in a duplex. So they live together.
Wow.
And they're at a great home too. Their parents are amazing, and Bowen and Oakley. They were my 2 biggest ones. Oh my god, they're huge. Like yes, yeah, they're big boys.
It's so cute in that though.
I know.
It's awesome. That's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's Coda Bean.
Coda Bean.
Coda Bean. So, well, her name is Coda. Her middle name is Bean. So, her 2 moms are actually Mastery moms. They go to Mastery, I think, in East Greenwich. So they actually found me through Miss Lemoy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So they have Coda, and she's a yellow female. Actually, there's a funny story about Coda's birth. So when she was born, I thought Xena was done. And so we're like, doing our thing. And all of a sudden, my husband, Will, walks in and he's like, what's up with that yellow one? I was like, what yellow one? I'm like, she didn't have any yellow. She had chocolate and black. And he's like, there's a yellow one in there. I'm like, you crazy person. I'm like, no, there's not. I'm like, she didn't have any yellows. Because we were like attending to like the other, but we were like kind of like cleaning up and doing
she still had one coming out.
She was already born. She was like born like out of her little sack, like just hanging out. And I was just like, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, there's another one. I'm like, there's Coda. So Coda was like a surprise, and she was just hanging out, and she's awesome. She's my diva dog.
Yep.
She is like a queen. Literally, to this day, I still talk to Jess, and Jess is like, yup. She's like, she is a diva.
That's funny. Yeah, she had to come out on her own. She was just there.
She just was hanging out. He's like hanging out.
That's a great story. That's funny. That's funny. All right. Who's this?
And that is my sweet. Okay, so he has a new name now, but that is Rocky the Run, and his new name is Saber, because his parents are they're from Buffalo, so they're big Buffalo Sabres fans. So that's where he gets his name from.
Yeah.
And that is my run that I literally bottle fed and nursed his entire time he was here, and that is him now. That was me visiting him last week. Yeah.
How old is he, you said?
They're 16 weeks actually today.
Shout out to Rocky / Saber.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wonder if you can hear me. Probably not. You'll hear me next week.
Yes.
All right. Let's see these 2.
Oh, so that's Vader and Shimmer.
And Shimmer.
That is right after actually their second mating. So we went for a little car ride.
You look very happy.
Oh my God, when I tell you he loves her, like they say that dogs, like he'll obviously, he mates with, my other females, but they say sometimes dogs they'll pick like a certain mate that they really love. And I think that's Shimmer, because he's so gentle with her, and he's always kissing her, and he howls, like literally howls, and he knows the difference when she's going outside opposed to when the other girls are going outside. He cries for her. Aww. It's adorable.
He's a ladies' man.
Yes.
A gentleman.
Oh my God. So that's that. She's due to have puppies. We're looking between March 24th to the 26th, 27th, somewhere right around there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Those 2 are cute.
Yeah. Cute. I can't wait to see their babies.
I know.
Oh, my Xena. So that's my Xena. That's
younger.
My mama. She's a what?
Much a puppy in this, obviously, right? A little younger.
No, I took that the other day.
Is she looks so much younger in this picture than the other ones.
I know. I think it's just the way her head was.
Yeah.
Well, she's only she'll be 2 February 7th, so she's still very young.
Yeah.
So her birthday is coming up. So is Sansa's, and so is Vader's. Her and Sansa are actually, their birthdays are 2 days apart.
That's awesome.
But that's my green. I call her Green Bean. So that's my Green Bean. That's like I said, my first mama dog to have babies, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're waiting on her to hopefully produce an April litter.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
She's very young, so you have a lot more to go.
Yes,
Hopefully, yeah.
yes. I have quite a few litters in her. Shimmer is going to be 4 in March, but she's only ever had 1 litter. This will be her second, so I'm hoping that kind of helps her so she can hopefully go till she's 7. So
March what?
her birthday's March 20. Hold on, I just got her, so excuse me. I always forget if it's the 27th or the 29th.
I thought it was going to be on mine. I thought it was going to be.
You and I have the same birthday, my friend.
That's right.
March 10th.
That's right.
So Shimmer's birthday is March 26th. I'm sorry.
March 26th.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Same birthday.
Yep.
Same birthday.
Pisces babies. I love it.
I know. Oh, man. Yep. And March 10th was the worst day of the year last year.
Why?
That was when NBA everything shut down. That was it. That was
I thought it was the 15th.
No, that was March 10th. That was like the day before or the day after. It was like boom.
Oh, because I feel like because that was like my 30th birthday, and I was all like, I'm not going to let this ruin my 30th birthday, which it didn't. And I actually ended up being able to celebrate, thank God. But
I celebrated that weekend before in Boston.
Me too! Shut up! No, you did not.
Yeah, it was. That was in Boston.
Get out.
A couple buddies and my sister was there. And
oh, that's awesome. My best friend from New York came up, so we had a blast.
That was the last known civilization.
Literally, that's what I said. I was like, literally, my birthday happened, and then life, died.
Yeah, it was terrible. Well, hopefully I think that will change this year.
I hope so. God, I hope so.
Shimmer and Vader.
Shimmer X Vader.
Yeah.
So if you were ever wondering what the X is for, that's just what breeders do when they're expecting the parents. So you do like Shimmer X Vader, Xena X Vader. That's how you know those are the 2 parents.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at our March babies. We'll confirm with an ultrasound on February 25th.
Wow. You bring up a good point. Are you do you communicate with a lot of other breeders at all? Learn from what they're doing, or are you competitive?
So it's a funny story. I actually have breeders that, like I said, are within my breed and not in my breed that I talk to constantly. I'm constantly learning from them, just based upon their experience. And obviously, vets, that's a very big part. I feel like breeders should definitely be in contact with a reproduction vet specialist. I have a breeder who's actually one of my best friends right up the street from me that honestly, they have helped me and taught me so much. Most of my girls are actually from them. And Kathy, she actually helps me with the deliveries of my dogs, and I help with the deliveries of her puppies. So they're great. So no, I am not. They would really be my only competitive breeder, and we're actually friends. And like I said, they've helped me so much. And then I have 2 other breeders that I talk to that breed Labradors. One breeds just Labs, and one breeds Labs and Shepherds in Connecticut. I have another breeder friend who does Beagles. But the one in Connecticut, she actually wants to use, because her stud recently had to get neutered. She wants to use Vader as a stud. So he's in high demand.
He is in high demand. Don't let anyone touch Vader.
No. Oh, God, no.
Vader's yours.
He is my boy. Yeah. So we would they call it, studding them out. And she would just pay a stud fee to use his sperm. And then, he'd get her girl pregnant. And, So basically, I get paid to just have my dog impregnate somebody. It's great.
That's the life of Vader, huh?
That is the life of Vader. He's got the life.
He is enjoying himself, let me tell you. All right, we have one more. Let's see what...
That's Sansa. So she's my fox red. That's
she's
like
beautiful.
I said, thank you. They're more of, like I said, rare colored labs. But my females, except for Shimmer, not sure yet because I haven't seen her litters, but my females carry that gene. So hopefully we'll have fox reds produced somewhere, in the future. But she will be having puppies whenever she decides to start her first heat cycle, she can have puppies on her second heat cycle.
I gotta say, Jessie kind of has that same color tone.
Is she your chocolate?
Yeah. She kind of has that same color tone.
Yeah, she's got like a reddish. So chocolates can have like a red. So fox
A little
you know,
bit, not too overpowering, but
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. So she's a form of she's a dark. They consider her a dark yellow lab.
Yeah.
Very dark. Very dark. Yeah.
I want to meet her.
Yes, you have to.
She's my favorite. I want to meet her. She is beautiful.
She's the sweetest. Oh my God, I love her. She'll melt your heart.
All right. Before we end on this podcast on MJR and Friends, we always end with a game. And this game is called Name That.
Okay.
I wanted to get an introduction done because soon, hopefully, when you come on again, we'll have a big video production of Name That. It is something. So I'm going to sing it a cappella right now. It's time to play Name That Dog. So here's what we're going to do. I have 6 pictures of the rarest dog breeds in the world.
Oh God.
and you have to tell me the name of this dog breed.
Okay.
All right, deal?
I'll try.
All right, let's do it. I have a timer, but it goes full screen, so we don't want to use that. So let's get into it. First one. Oh, hold on. Let me take off this banner. All right, let's do it. All right, first one.
Oh my God. I don't know. Some sort of sheepdog.
That is incorrect. That dog is called the Otterhound.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, the Otterhound is a British dog breed, is a scent hound, and is recognized by the Kennel Club as a vulnerable native breed with only 600 animals dog-wide. I mean, not worldwide, not dog-wide. 600, yeah.
Wow, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I noticed on here, too, they really use the B word.
Bitch?
Yeah.
Do you know why? That's not offensive in the dog world.
Isn't that? Huh?
That they call like your female when you're breeding them the bitch. Like she's like the vet will even say it. They're like, oh, has your bitch gone into season yet? Like into heat.
Wow.
Yeah, or they say sire and dam. But
I like that better.
bitch. The bitch.
How about just puppy or female?
Or even vets are very big on that word.
Huh. Okay. All right. Next one.
Looks like some sort of God, is that like oh God, what's the name? Not like a cattle dog?
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Like from
Tail
Jeopardy.
looks husky like.
Yeah, no, that is a Norwegian Lundehund, which is a small dog breed of the Spitz type that originates from Norway.
Oh my God, are you getting all these dogs from Europe?
The breed was originally developed for the hunting of puffins, which is a bird, and their eggs. So that is the Norwegian Lundehund. All right, let's move on.
Greyhound? No.
That's incorrect.
It looks like a greyhound.
You are 0 for 3. I thought you would know your rare dog breeds, but you don't.
I don't.
This is the Azawaka.
You know why it looks like the greyhound? Because it's got the rear end like a greyhound.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. But you still lost.
Yeah, I was still incorrect.
It's a breed of dog from West Africa. It's used as a sight hound, so it is kind of a hound. It's raised in Mali and Burkina Faso.
Where is that?
Africa.
In Africa? You said they're from Africa?
Yep, West Africa.
Okay.
West Africa. So that's the Azawaka. Yeah. So that is that one. All right, next one.
Basically, you're trying to make me look like I have no idea about any of these dogs.
No,
I'm kidding.
No, I really am. That's what I was doing. That's the whole point of this right now. What is this?
A big ball of fluff.
Breeder exposed.
I have no idea. Let me think. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know.
That is called a moody.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that a million years.
It's a herding dog breed from Hungary. Not Hungary. Hungary. It is related to the Pulley and the Pumi. The Muddy is bred for work, sport, companionship, and show.
Hmm.
So that's the Moody or Muddy, whatever you want to.
I gotta get one. You gotta have one in there, or is that the last one?
Probably not. No, probably not. You're probably not going to do well in any of these.
Oh wow,
Gotta be truthful. Gotta be truthful.
Well, because you found dogs that are like the most rare dogs in the world.
And that's the game. What's this one?
That's a foo-foo dog. That's what I call them.
That is
I don't know.
That is a stabby hound. It's one of. Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. Explain that.
A stabby hound is one of the top 5 rarest dog breeds in the world. It is from the Dutch province of Friesland. It has been mentioned in Dutch literature going back to the early 1800s. And there are only a few thousand stabby hounds in existence worldwide.
Wow, so they better keep on breeding them or they're going to go extinct.
Exactly. Yeah, very sad. All right, last one. This one is literally the favorite out of all of them that I've picked.
Oh, beautiful.
Right? Beautiful.
Oh, man. He's gray.
He is gray. Very good.
I don't know.
It is called the Thai Ridgeback. The Thai Ridgeback. Yeah, outside the breed was unknown outside Thailand, but is gaining notice in the Western world. They are known as Mai Tai Lang An. It's one of the 3 breeds that has a ridge of hair that runs along its back.
Wow.
In the opposite direction to the rest of the coat.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, so they are very rare indeed, and especially to the Western population. So
obviously, I don't have a clue.
No, obviously not, but that's okay.
But did you know? You didn't know about these dogs either.
I had no.
Yeah, no.
I just used that from Wikipedia.
Okay, all right. So I was gonna say, I'm sure if you asked. I'm sure a few breeders, although there's one breeder that like gets her dogs from Russia, so she might know about them. But I would assume that a lot of people would be like,
Yeah, those are some rare dogs, and it's kind of shocking that you don't see more breeders wanting to, especially in those lands, wanting to breed more of those type of dogs. You know?
Yeah, especially. I don't know if they're not as popular. Did you know that the Lab by AKC was America's #1 dog for 29 years in a row?
No, I did not know. I could see that. I could guess that, but no, I didn't see that.
I hope they hit 30 this year. That'd be awesome.
I feel like I see a lot of Huskies. I had a Husky for 16 years, but I feel like lately too, I feel like Huskies are kind of gaining some popularity too.
My friend has like 4 of them.
I love Huskies.
Oh, they're so cool. But she's like, oh my God. She's like, they shed.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. I was like, well, I'm like, you have 4. I'm like, but she's like, I literally vacuum my house like 3 times a day.
Hey, I got one more for you. I forgot this one. All right. If you don't get this one, I hope you do. It's a tough one. So we'll see. One of the rarest dog breeds in the world.
Scooby-Doo!
That is incorrect.
Oh, I have to give you the breed?
No, that's Scrappy Doo grown up.
What?
I'm just kidding. That's Scooby.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, is that a thing? Did I miss out on that as in my childhood?
No. We don't like Scrappy. He's kind of
like a little ball buster.
Yeah, we don't like him.
Oh my God. I forgot to mention one thing to you too as well. With my dogs too, in terms of like breeding and setting aside myself from other breeders, because I just looked at my notes quickly. OFA testing, which is testing for their hips, elbows, eyes, as well as the exercise-induced collapse. I do all of that as well, which is a very expensive thing to do, but you want to make sure that you have breedable dogs, and AKC recognizes that as well. So because you want to make sure that you rule out health issues. So that's another thing that I do for my dogs. Vader's actually going this upcoming month because you have to wait till they're 2 to do it. Shimmer's already passed for it because she's 3. But that's another thing that I do that's the reason, why I charge a little bit more for my dogs, but they come with, so
Everything.
much and so many health guarantees and, so that's another thing that a lot of breeders don't do. Which they should.
You bring the whole package, and I could tell that you put a lot into your work, which makes people, if you want dogs, you better go see Dame Dogs Labradors.
Thank you.
Better go see them. Jocelyn, I want to thank you for coming on MJR and Friends today. Did you have fun?
I had a blast.
Did you have
It's always fun with you, Mike.
Good. I'm happy that you came on. And like I said, we're going to do a little plug right now. You can check down the links in the ticker, Dame Dogs Labradors, Google, Facebook, Instagram, and anything else they should know? How to contact you or?
So, all my contact info, the best way to contact me, my cell phone number is on pretty much, I think, everything. So my cell, email, I always text, call, Facebook message me, Instagram message me. I mean, I'm on 24/7. So really, it's easy to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Yeah. This has been fun.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And I look forward to having you back on some point again. That'd be awesome. And we can do some more conversations. And you're also part of Businesses We Love.
Yes, I am. Yes, with your sister.
Which is my sister's new business newsletter, and you can definitely check that out on Businesses We Love on Facebook. Jocelyn, again, thank you so much for coming on today. You can check us out on Facebook, Michael Rossi Jr. and MJR Podcast Family, Instagram, and this video is going to be on YouTube next week. The first week of February, this will be on YouTube. You can check it out. It'll be on the Studs Podcast channel and on Spotify at the MJR and Friends channel, as well as other platforms as well. So, guys, thank you for listening in. Again, thank you, Jocelyn, for coming on. I had a blast with you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Everyone have a great night.
Thank you.